I'm expecting some deep questions.
Deep questions? Well, I'm gonna be
It's
deep.
not that. Oh, you're gonna be deep in my mom?
Yeah. Oh my god. How are you doing, Arnav?
Tired.
Tired. How do you feel about C.U.M so far?
Oh, these are the same questions the last time, bro.
No, just
Bomb questions. Enjoyable.
enjoyable. Fair. How are your expectations after coming to college? What were you expecting from C.U.M before coming here?
I don't know. I wasn't expecting much. I was sort of go with the flow.
That's fair.
I was just like, I don't got any of the big options I want. We're just gonna choose one. Can't be that bad.
That's fair. Because like before I came here, it was always like, even though I was like here until I was in America until I was 5 years old, I wasn't here for 12 years. So like my expectations were like kind of distorted into like the American high school movies, like the American college movies, where it's like always partying, always like going out with the friends, like 2 a.m. drives and stuff like that. And that's all I was expecting. But then I came here and was like, oh, depression.
Bro got bitch slapped by reality.
Oh, because like, have you watched that movie called like 17 Again?
No.
That was like pretty much like my expectation. It was just like this guy who was like in his mid-30s who turned back into like a 17-year-old, and Mans was like just doing everything like a 17-year-old would do, like throwing a party, like joining the basketball team again, and just like having fun. And I was like, oh, that's valid.
Bro, high school is more boring.
Really? Then this? Okay, then
At least for me.
At least for you? That's fair.
College definitely upgrade.
That's fair. I don't know. I think a lot of C.U.M people tend to thrive at college. Like C.U.M type of people, like compared to high school, they tend to thrive more in college, I guess. At least
I don't know if it's that. I think a lot of people who like are at CMU, it's not that they like thrived more in like college and high school. It's like in high school, like the whole point was getting to college.
Yeah.
So you didn't do stuff for fun. Well, you tried to do stuff that was fun and help you get into college, but like your priority was college over fun. But now you're at college, and also now like a lot of the kids like don't have parents like holding these expectations over them. So now it's like, wait, I'm at college. I'm there. Now I can have fun.
Yeah.
CMU is not the best college for doing that, but it still happens at CMU.
Yeah.
You can now fail classes without your parents killing you because you're like, I'm at CMU. Like, I'm going to fail classes. So kids like aren't as scared of failing classes or like not getting the A.
Yeah.
Because now it's like I think for a lot of kids who came to CMU, like getting an A was like within your control in high school. Like you could make sure you got an A if you worked hard enough.
Yeah.
But at CMU, it's not like that anymore.
But this place is just trenches.
Yeah. So
you get the Fs, you work on a class for like 20-30 hours a week, and you still bomb it somehow. And I'm like,
exactly. It's like out of your control. So at that point, kids were like, I might as well like fuck around if I can't. No matter how hard I work, I can't get an A. Which is like good to an extent.
High school is very different for me, at least, because like, at least from Mongolia, I went to a very public school, right? And it was like, oh, we don't really care about like America and that side of the world. We just want you to get like that one good test score, because we had like our own version of the SATs, and if we did good on those, we were just accepted into any college in Mongolia, and that's about it. But like we didn't care about like the extracurriculars and stuff like that, because even my school had like one club, and that's it. Like one club that was like for charity, I guess, where we went to like an orphanage and like talked to like these kids that were growing up and like giving them advice on like how to pick your profession and how to like develop as a person. And that was literally about it. We did not have any like chess clubs or anything.
None of that shit.
None of the normal like clubs you would expect from like a normal high school.
That's interesting. I think in America it's like the flipped. Like there isn't. I mean, people care about the SAT.
Yeah.
But I feel like the SAT is not that deep. Like for college admissions, like it matters, but like,
to a certain extent. Yeah,
only to a certain extent. It's like you have to do it and everything else, but you also can't not do it. I guess except for starting our year, you could not do it and get away with it.
Yeah.
But in the past, it was like you need to do well on it.
Yeah, that's fair. Because after like what, like a 1400 or 1500, it just all kind of blends in, I think. And I'm like,
Especially about 1500. It's not that
like,
deep.
what is the delta between like a 1550 or like a 1590?
It's
like,
not. It's diminishing marginal returns.
Yeah. Like,
The
okay.
delta.
The delta. Oh my, that's like the C.U.M talk coming in. I swear to God.
The delta is not. It's just me, bro. Yeah, I fucked up.
Maybe, but like the C.U.M talk we have are like introducing like discrete math into our conversation for some reason. We use like bijection implication. We like half the people watching this probably don't even know what that is, and it's like, it's such C.U.M things that we have.
Just don't worry about it.
I think we just like, at least for me, I try to learn like some of my classes outside of class by just using those.
Using the words?
Yeah, we like using definitions of like math and stuff like that in everyday language. It's like, oh, like how can you point this one set of people to another? Oh, like, oh, so yeah, matching. Yeah, we got a matching here. Like, oh, that girl has like an injection on you or something like that. And it's like, oh my. How did you feel about your freshman year dorm?
Yeah, Donna.
Oh my God.
I liked it.
You liked it?
Yeah. I think I had a good freshman experience in terms of like my roommate and like living situation. But I don't know if everyone has, but I'm happy. I was happy with it.
That's fair. Because like freshman year dorms, low key, you can still introduce yourself by it. Some people come up to you in parties and like if they're awkward enough, they ask you like your freshman year dorm, and I'm like, bruh.
Did someone do that yesterday?
Someone did that yesterday. I was like, okay, it is what it is.
Who was it? Just like an arbitrary?
Yeah, it was like an arbitrary dude, but like he was really chill. I liked talking with him. I was like, okay.
Nice.
Because it feels like a freshman year dorm is pretty much like a Hogwarts house. Like from Harry Potter.
Breathe the Hill from Donner.
Yeah, Donner, Mudge, Stever. It's like
clans.
Yeah, there's like some certain like stereotypes amongst the dorms as well. Like, what do you have? Like Donner is like all the swimming bros, the
football players. All the football players in Donner.
You guys had some interesting cases like what was it? In the Donner basement, you guys had like the shit incident.
Oh, the serial shitter. Let's go. They had one again this year, I think.
Yeah, they had one again this year, and I was like, okay, what the fuck?
And it's standard Donner behavior. It's like, someone shits in the bathroom floor just because they miss. I don't know. Like,
like how bad do you have to be to miss the toilet and just shit on the floor of a dorm? And I'm like, okay, it is what it is.
Maybe it's like a fetish. Maybe they're into it.
What type of fetish?
Maybe they want to be caught. You ever think about that?
I don't know about you, but I don't want to be like caught in a public toilet.
Have you seen that Reddit post about this dude who had a shit fetish and he like hired a prostitute to shit in his mouth?
Wait, I've read about that.
I sent it to you, bro.
I hate you for that. It was so bad.
And then he realized, like, wait, I only like shit videos. I don't want shit in my mouth, but like, he already had shit in his mouth, and it was like way too late. And he paid for it. Yeah. Anyways, so the moral of the story is that maybe the guy who's shitting on the floor like is into it. Also, if it happens every year, is it a janitor?
The janitor just comes in, wipes down all the places, and he's like,
takes
oh,
mad
shit on the floor because he's like, oh, I'm done with this place. Fuck
yeah,
it.
No, and actually, the thing is, I think I do know the identity of last year's honor shitter, but like, I'm not allowed to leave that shit.
Yeah, we cannot.
But just so you know, it's not a janitor. So CMU, you don't need to, what's it called, inspect your janitors. Although we did have a janitor who like sexually harassed a girl.
Yeah.
And then he got fired.
Wait, how did that one even start again?
Basically, bro went into the shower and tried to take a photo of her or something like that.
Of like an arbitrary girl, and then the girl like took the phone of the janitor.
And then she ran away and just one of my friend's dorms or something. Yeah.
Yeah, that's like bad. And the janitor came like knocking into the dorm of our friend.
Oh,
right?
did he? I
think so. Yeah, he was like, oh, like where is this person? Like, some shit like that.
I did not know about that. He also wrote like wild shit on all the whiteboards about how like COVID is fake, and like some like wild like MAGA Republican ass shit.
Republican.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he was tweaking. Like, I don't know. They had to like detain him, and then they had to like they like banned him from like the premises or something like that.
That's
so, like,
fair.
If he even like comes on CMU campus, he can get arrested.
Oh yeah, didn't your RA have a talk with him? And it was
Yeah,
like,
the RA
bro,
is the person who waited for the police to come and good RA, good man.
good RA, W mans. But feels like yeah, I guess like the Donner football and swimming people were your stereotypes. For Mudge, it was like I don't think Mudge had like a really like pinpoint stereotype. Like
Cockroaches.
yeah, cockroaches were a stereotype. And
That's
like,
all I remember.
people wise, it was like very. It's like Gryffindor, like. It's
Hey
like
yo,
very,
why you typecasting yourself as
I'm
Gryffindor?
typecasting
Yo,
myself
what
as
do
a
you mean
Gryffindor.
it's Gryffindor?
It's like the people who can be wild but are like very more tame is what I was getting at.
Intriguing. I don't know. I have
From Mudge at least.
I have no stereotypes about any. I don't say I don't know any stereotypes about any of the houses, other than Scoble. That's because it's like an all boys house.
The Scobos.
Then I don't know why you choose to live there. Also, I've talked to some people who live there and they did not choose to live there, so that explains why you wouldn't be end up there.
I don't think anyone chose to live there purposefully.
There's definitely at least one dude.
Man's probably joined a frat. That's what I'm thinking of.
No. They probably like very religious, like Orthodox, like can't touch a girl before marriage, some like crazy shit like that.
Yeah.
Probably something like that.
So they were like, oh, let's just do all boys.
Yeah, so you don't have to like see girls or some weird shit like that. That would make more sense.
That's fair.
There's definitely people like that see me. Like there are really religious people.
Hmm.
I saw like 3 people at a table like with the Book of Mormon, like just like 3 copies of the Book of Mormon, just like talking. I was like, oh, intriguing.
For some reason, I just saw like the Russian manifesto like hanged up in like one of the dorms.
Like Karl Marx's Communist Manifesto, or
I think that one.
W.
Just like out of nowhere, it was like on the ceiling on top. I was like, huh? Why is that there? And it was like, why not? I was like, okay.
That's valid. Why not?
That is valid, I guess. But I don't know. It feels like other dorms like E Tower were like really like forced to interact with each other, considering like how their dorm was built. If you've ever been into E Tower,
Like once or twice.
yeah, because like that place is like probably one of the most social dorms, like besides Donner, and also like one of the wildest ones, considering there were like parties and drinking every single Friday, and that also includes Stever as a dorm as well. That Stever and E Tower were probably like the most alcoholic dorms that I've ever experienced, quite frankly.
Nice.
Yeah, and
As an alcoholic, you were sure to experience them.
yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I will. Those are my opinions on the dorms, at least. How good are like seeing people at flirting?
I think they're quite bad. I don't know. I mean, most of our friends are bots. Like,
Because, okay, I think you're quite good at flirting.
I wouldn't say that.
Okay,
I think our friends are just bots. Like,
compared
like, I don't know.
relative to our friends and like the average CMU person, I think you're pretty good at flirting with people.
I don't. Okay, sure. I mean, how much of me flirting have you seen?
I've seen you slide in on Hinge and Tinder. Girls.
Okay, I'm good at like sliding in on dating apps. Doesn't mean I'm good at flirting. I guess I can flirt over text,
That's fair.
but like that's about it.
Well, I'm like still trying to like get better at that. I'm like, I don't know about that. Because like I don't know why the typical CMU Joe is like bitchless, quite frankly.
I think it's like people, and I think this is a good thing to an extent. I think people don't want to make other people like feel uncomfortable, right?
Yeah.
Like and we like know, especially if we're talking about some of our friends who are girls, like if someone you are not interested in flirting with you,
Yeah.
or like especially someone like you don't know, even if like there's someone you might even find attractive, if they flirt with you randomly and it is like not good, like they don't like that. Like if they just like flirt badly, regardless of like how attractive that person is, right? Like it is something that like people don't really like unless they're in the mood for it. So a lot of our friends, I think, are not good at judging whether someone is interested in flirting with them, or like, and I think it is hard to judge. I mean, I wouldn't say I'm good at judging it either.
Yeah.
So that's why like in person it's hard to make those moves. But I think, and then the other issue is like, well then like on dating apps, I think sliding is a lot harder. So like for me, the reason like I don't think I'm that good in person because like I really would not want to make someone like feel uncomfortable, right?
Yeah, that's right.
So I don't like make any moves until like I know they're on board. But on a dating app, like because you're on it, there's this like implicit, like I wouldn't say consent to do anything, but like consent to flirt.
That's fair. Yeah.
Because that's the reason you're on the app. So I know that like if I'm flirting with someone, they wouldn't feel uncomfortable simply because I'm flirting with them. And so then that like takes away that like sort of social barrier, at least for me.
Yeah.
So I think that's the reason like all our friends are like don't have risks, is because texting and flirting is hard, and doing it in person.
I think a lot of people just overthink it as well, quite frankly.
Yeah, that's true. They used to be straight up. Just be like, oh, dinner date, this day, this place. And like they'll be like, yes. And if they're not interested, they'll say no. And if they are interested but are busy, they'll say, can we schedule a different day? And you're done.
Yeah.
Like it's not that deep. Like some people need more, but if someone like needs like a lot more like flirting to get a date with them, it's not gonna worth your time. Just like try it. If they're not interested, move to the next. But yeah, that's probably why. Also, I think a lot of friends like honestly, I don't think they, as much as they complain about it, I don't think they care as much.
Yeah, that's fair. I think, to be honest, I think a lot of our friends just have commitment issues. Just
definitely. I don't know how many of them do, but like some of them do.
Yeah.
Some of them don't. Some of them are just too scared to make the move. Whether it's because of that making girls feel uncomfortable or scared of rejection, or because they don't know how to talk about their feelings. I don't know. I think a lot of them are just like scared of making that initial move.
But I don't know, because like, how many like couples can you think off the top of your head that are like your CMU friends? Because I can only think of like, I know a lot of people, but I can only think of maybe like 7 or 8 couples at most.
And how many friends would you say you have?
A lot. I don't know. It's like a lot more than that.
Okay, well.
Me and Gio.
Hey yo.
Yeah. It's like,
No, there are more. There have Ire. Behind. It's 5.
yeah, it's like only like 5 or so. But even from like the relationships I've seen, a lot of them are like long distance with people back at home, or even if they are in a relationship here and they've met someone from here, it feels like a lot of people like have that codependency in that relationship for some reason. I've been seeing here.
How would you define codependency?
It's like a lot of people here depend on their partner for their happiness, quite frankly. They're like, oh, like if I'm doing like absolute ass in this class, or if I'm really sad right now, I go to my partner to like make this fix, or like cannot deal with it myself, quite frankly.
That's interesting. Because like I've talked about codependency with my partner a lot. Like the idea of like it being something you're trying to avoid, right?
Yeah.
In a relationship is something we focused on like avoiding. And I think like what the definition of codependency is like really is like it's hard to determine. It's one of those like vague terms because like to an extent you should be able to go to your partner.
Yeah, you
for
should
help
be. Yeah.
if you are like sad, right? Like that's not a bad thing. So I guess like it's more like how much you need your partner to deal with emotional issues. Also, I think like the other form of codependency, which like I've seen like in like friends who were in relationships in the past and are now, is like when you're like unable to be without each other. Like I just have friends who will like spend time with their partner over like everything else, or will always be like around with their partner.
Yeah.
And I think if you need them that much, you can't like do activities without them. It doesn't mean you can't want them at those activities you're doing.
Yeah.
But that you actually can't enjoy the activity unless they're there. I think that's like one of the like framing like definitions of codependency. And I think like you can think of like people. I'm not gonna name drop people relationships, but I can think of like at least one off the top of my head where like they're just like always around each other. They're not. I wouldn't say I don't think they're partners anymore, but I've seen a lot of relationships like that.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of those people, and it's like it feels like a lot of, even if they were our friends, they would like miss out on events or something like that to be with that person. And I think a lot of people who go into relationships like the first semester, which is not seen in the social settings besides with that person, which was like semi-problematic, I think. But
Yeah.
also, if you are trying to like get that deeper connection with that person, yeah, that's fair, I guess.
Oh, I forgot to list another couple. I forgot to name Sophia.
Oh, that's fair.
What do you mean that's fair to forget?
Yeah.
No, don't say that's fair to forget. No, that's not
Nah.
fair. Shit, if I remember, yeah.
Do you think a person can get out of the friend zone?
Depends the reason you're in the friend zone.
Okay. What are some reasons you can actually get out of the friend zone? In your opinion?
Also, wait, depends how do you define the friend zone.
Oh, it's like, oh, I like you more as a friend, and just like, she rejects you or whatever.
Okay, then I would say probably not. Wait, because like, okay. Because I've had situations in the past where someone's like, are like, I like you more than a friend,
Yeah.
but like, they're too scared to date. Which I don't think would actually classify as your friend zone definition.
I think that's just commitment issues. I'm sorry.
Alright, that's okay. So then I would say it's difficult. Because, well, I don't know. I the friend zone's like an interesting concept. Because it's not necessarily like a bad thing to be there. You're like, you should have friends that are girls. I don't think.
Yeah.
But I think like the reason guys whatever end up in a friend zone, or even girls, there are girls I know that have ended up in the friend zone, is because I think it doesn't really take too long to make their move, but it's like when you like build up this relationship as a friend, it becomes increasingly scary to like remove that and like risk it. But also like I feel like if the person genuinely like really is interested in you, like it's worth that risk.
Yeah, it is definitely.
So that's why I think when someone's like, I like you better as a friend, it's like a soft rejection, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not like, oh, I'm interested, but I'm too scared to lose my friendship. I think it really is like, I'm not interested in a relationship with you.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's because your personality isn't everything they want in the personality of a partner, or whether maybe they just don't find you physically attractive, and that's like valid. Like, like just because you're friends with someone that you're attracted to, and they're friends with you, doesn't mean like they owe you physical attraction, which I think for a lot of people, I'm not gonna say all people, for a lot of people, is like pretty important in dating someone. So I would say in those situations, maybe you can't. Like maybe your personality is vibe really well, but they aren't physically attracted to you, and like you go to like the fucking gym or something, start dressing well. Maybe you can have friend zone, but also like I think if someone wants to put you in the friend zone, you should like find someone that likes you more.
Yeah,
that would be like it's not worth trying to get out of the friend zone. Cause like I would never want to be like in a relationship with someone who I didn't think liked me enough. Like, cause then I'm just like, why am I just trying to appease you? Like, I want a partner who wants me, if that makes sense. And I think everyone should want that. And like, if this person doesn't want you, like that, and it isn't true for all people. Should like just implicitly turn off wanting that person as your partner. Cause you're like, what's wrong with them? Why don't they want me? That's a them problem, not a you problem, right? And I think that's for everyone. Like, if the person doesn't want you, then that's a them problem, and that should, and hopefully makes them less attractive to whatever you in your eyes.
That's fair. Because like it feels like if you go into a relationship with that like, oh, that this person like doesn't like me as much, it feels like that relationship is just gonna be like you trying to prove yourself worthy, or like trying to make them to like you, and that's kind of toxic. I'm not gonna lie. It's like it's more of a challenge than an actual relationship.
And also it's like a basis for codependency, because like your whole relationship isn't because like you like spending time with each other, it's because you're trying to get them to like spending time with you, which is very different than like you want to be with them. It's like you're trying to make them want to be with you, which means you're trying to control them.
I think that happens quite a bit at C.U.M to a certain degree. I don't know. It's like, I think just because of the most people who come here do not have like dating experience or like relationship experience before coming here, just because of, oh, we needed to like focus on college, we needed to focus on academics before coming here. Maybe our parents were strict. Quite frankly, like most of our population is like what, like Asian, Indian, Black, and not as much white people.
But even like I would say, regardless of what race the people are,
Yeah.
the type of kids who are here,
Yeah.
their parents are gonna be strict. Like even the white kids here, are probably the white kids with stricter parents, right?
Yeah.
So I think like regardless, like outside of race, there are also like many other factors like self-select strict parents,
Yeah.
or at least
That's fair.
academically stringent parents.
Mm-hmm.
So I know, like for me, my parents,
Mm-hmm.
they weren't really strict in like the other senses,
Mm-hmm.
but they were like, you gotta get good grades. You know what I'm saying? Like
That's fair.
And so like that way they were like, but they really like let me do what I wanted to, like every other way, as long as like my grades are chill, like I'm chill. So like, so I think that like, but yes, academically strict, and that's what you're talking about, like because of academics,
academically strict.
they can't do relationships. But I don't know. I think dating experience is overrated. I've seen plenty of people with plenty of dating experience be terrible in relationships. I think a lot of being good in a relationship is like just like inherent like social ability.
Just being a decent person, quite frankly.
Not a decent person, because part of it's that, obviously.
Yeah.
But like being like the ability like to understand how other people are feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's hard. Like it's not just like you can be a good person and still have trouble reading other people, but, like understanding like their needs, and like because like once you like are able to understand people's needs, especially like, implicitly, it's a lot easier to like fulfill them, and therefore you can do a better job of being a good partner once you found someone whose needs you want to fulfill, right? Because like part of being a partner is like making the other person happy, like 'cause something like, but it's like not. Because there's a difference. It's like you should want to make the other person happy, not because like you want them to like you because you're making them happy, because like you like seeing them happy.
Yeah, that's fair.
And being able to like do that makes you a lot better in relationships. Also, it's like being a good communicator. I think is like, I mean, obviously, I'm not saying experience doesn't help, right?
Yeah.
But I don't think experience is the leading factor. I think people just have bad social skills. That's what I mean.
That's very fair. And also on the getting out of the friend zone part, I think you can get out of the friend zone, but only if there's like a significant amount of time separated between those two people and they've grown and changed as people, quite frankly.
I guess, but then you're not getting out of the friend zone because you're just disconnected and weren't friends for a bit.
That is fair.
So I don't know if that's getting out of the friend zone in the same way. You're just like, oh, stop being friends with them, and then come back later, and hopefully they'll like you more.
You come back after like a villain arc, and then you go back. Did you get back with the girl? Would you ever want to be famous?
Well, I've had this conversation with my girlfriend a lot.
Really?
Yeah, I think like the idea of fame is something I would want. Like I like the idea of like everyone liking me. I mean, who doesn't?
Yeah, that's fair.
But I think like practically and pragmatically, most people wouldn't like what it means to be famous in terms of the other implications on their life.
Yeah.
Like you don't have a private life anymore. Like people are like stalking you. There's a lot of pressure on you. Every decision you make matters. Every mistake you make is held against you. And I think those type of things cause a lot of emotional tension. Like you have to be perfect once you're in the limelight.
Yeah.
Like maybe like be a niche celebrity, that would be fun.
Yeah.
Right? I think I'd enjoy that. But being like famous, that's really stressful. It's like why a lot of famous people like you know, end their lives or like become drug addicts or like go off the deep end. Like because it's like the stress like your whole life, like it builds up.
Yeah. And people are like expecting so much from you as well. Like if you mess up like once, and people do tend to mess up, we are human beings, quite frankly, that have their flaws, will mess up sometimes, and one slip up can make you get cancelled, make you do like lose a lot of things, quite frankly, and that's quite frankly bad. And I've had like a small bit of the experience of being like semi-famous, like that niche famous, because of like the YouTube channel, of course. And I was like, I've been noticed 7 times, I guess, by my YouTube channel. By just like at random parties, they were like, "Oh, you that YouTuber guy, right?" And I'm like, I don't know how to deal with this. I'm just like, okay, it is what it is. And even at like the clubs I go to, like Asian Student Association, I went there like one of the first events like one of the girls approached me and like, oh yeah, you're that YouTuber. And then like with my last old suite mate, they literally went up to him, like named his like major. Oh yeah, you're that guy, right? And like noticed him that easily. And I was like semi did not know what to do with that information, and also I was like semi uncomfortable, like people just knew you out of nowhere. I was like, okay, it is what it is.
Yeah, no, it's interesting. Yeah. I don't think I'll be famous, so I don't think it's gonna matter.
Who knows? Maybe we'll look back on this in like 20 years and be like, oh yeah,
we'll see. I guess we'll find out.
We'll find out. Yeah. Oh yeah, I did have this. I made this a poll on my. I made this a question on my Instagram story. It was like, oh, how cuffed men seem more attractive to women. I don't think I gave you an explanation for this.
No.
But I think that whenever you're cuffed, or like very close to being cuffed, that you seem more attractive to women. And the reason for me saying this is because I think I've had a lot of friends who've noticed this, and even I've noticed this when I was like very close to like being in a relationship, or even if I was in a relationship, there were like even more girls complimenting me, more likes on dating apps, and I'm like, what is going on here? Well, I never had this.
Obviously, more likes on dating apps. Like, there's no way they can tell.
Yeah, nobody can tell, but it's still like,
I think generally, a lot of guys, their sense of confidence, especially in their appearance, is like hinged on like, especially straight guys, obviously.
Yeah.
On like, or bi guys, I guess too. Like on like the like female validation. Or validation from women. Yeah. So I think when you're almost cuffed, right? Whatever, you seem more confident because you are more confident.
Yeah.
And also, two, because you're almost cuffed or cuffed, you aren't desperate.
Yeah, that's true.
And not being desperate and being more confident make your personality a lot more attractive. So it's not that you are cuffed. I mean, there might be some people who like getting cuffed dudes, but most people don't. Because most girls I've talked to, most girls that I know, once they find out a guy is interested in another girl, get turned off. Because, like, you know that song? I forgot who's by. Oh my god, I'm getting clowned for not really. It's like, I want you to treat me like I'm the only girl in the world or whatever.
I forgot about it.
Is it like Rihanna or something? I don't know. Don't cancel me.
Oh yeah, I think it is actually Rihanna. So
I think most guys too want to be the person who's like most liked by this person. So if you know this person like already likes someone else, it's like a turn off. Like, this person doesn't like me, or like, cause like they like someone else. Like, they're interested in that person too. I'm not special. So actually, like, a lot of people I've talked to, like, it's a turn off for the guy to like other girls, right? Or be talking to other girls. Like, obviously, it's not like they won't go for anyone that isn't like that's like, let's say, on a dating app, because whatever, dating, the modern dating life, right? But what I'm saying is, like, I don't think it's that they liked cuffed people. It's like being cuffed does things to your personality and the way you interact that is more attractive.
That is true. I think because, like, let's say we have a single person and a cuffed person. I think just in general, unless you have like everything figured out, like, the cuffed person will be a bit happier. I think it's safe to say that, assume that, quite frankly. And I think everyone just wants to be around like happy people, quite frankly.
That's true.
Like the big balls of sunshine that are walking on.
Yeah. I don't know where you're getting that at CMU.
Yeah, that's a hard thing to get, because I quite frankly think so many people here are in the trenches and just sad, way too sad. I'm like, okay, because there doesn't pass a day where we don't hear from one of our friends, or just even a random person, like, oh, and me, like, holy shit, this place is bad, I'm stressed out, I've got a panic attack, or I got no bitches, I'm sad, I'm down bad, horny. I'm like, okay.
Having the confessional, she's like, can I have a friend, I'm lonely. Like, that shit hits. Like, a lot of people are lonely.
Yeah.
They feel alone. Even when they're like surrounded by friends, you can still like feel alone.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's hard to be like a bottle of sunshine. I think like a lot of people find it difficult. And I feel like there are always some people who are,
Yeah.
but you never know. Like, are they putting up a facade, a fake face, just so, like, people don't worry about them,
Mm-hmm.
and you don't know.
That's fair. How has it been like developing like deeper connections here compared to like high school?
I think my connections here were deeper within the first like semester than a lot of my high school friendships.
Mm-hmm.
I think just because like the way you become friends in college is just like, this person is in all my classes.
Mm.
And I don't know, I feel like people at college have been like a lot more open about just talking about things. Like whether it's just like people they're interested in like sexual stuff,
Mm-hmm.
or like how they feel about the world than like people in my high school at least were.
Yeah.
Average. So I feel like it was pretty easy. It was light work.
Feels like a lot of people get closer through like pain and traumatic experiences, and I think C.U.M might just offer that in classes and suffering together.
Maybe that too. That would make sense.
That would definitely make a bit of sense. But I had a lot of trouble like developing like deeper connections the first semester, and maybe even like the half of like second semester. But it's gotten a bit better. I think just like hanging around the same people a bit more has helped, because I jumped from friend group to friend group the first semester so many times. Like orientation week, I had to juggle like 5 or 6 friend groups, and that was like the most exhausting thing.
The roster.
I got the roster going on with the friends and just like jumping between one friend group from another. Like, no, not the vibes.
Yeah. Also, from what I understand, like a lot of like first semester and first half second semester, you were out like drinking and partying late at night, and like if every night you're drinking, like I feel like each night you're drinking, especially like at least the way you were drinking, is like one less night you're like actually like sitting down and talking to someone till 1 a.m.
Yeah, that's fair.
A lot less, like you're gonna get a lot less close connections if you're either drinking or like out. Like,
yeah, that's fair. Because like my roommate even barely saw me during like orientation week. I would come back at like 4 a.m. and then this man would probably wake up like 2 hours later, and I'm like going to sleep, and I'm like, okay, it is what it is.
Exactly. Yeah. Makes sense.
When do you think it's like too late to ask out a girl?
I don't know. I don't think it's ever too late unless like she's interested in someone else and it's like been pretty clear about it.
Yeah, well, unless they're in a relationship already, or maybe that just means like you gotta go like deal with one guy.
No.
I mean, just like
no. Look, if you're able to convince a girl to leave her relationship for you, someone else can convince her to leave you for them. That's not a move.
No.
But I feel like most people wait too long. I'm not saying that I'm perfect either. Like everyone's nervous when it's them at the stage. But most people wait too long. I think like if you're like, it depends how this like feelings were built. Like sometimes you just are friends with someone and then you get feelings over time.
Yeah.
Once you develop those feelings, I think like it is a good idea to come out with them as soon as possible. I think, and if you just like meet someone and you're interested in them, I think like maybe meet up with them once or twice and be like, I'm interested, and you just be straight up with it. Don't wait forever, because like their answer isn't gonna change if you wait longer. So there's no point in waiting longer.
I think a lot of things can just be like fixed with clear communication, quite frankly, especially at C.U.M. Like a lot of couples, a lot of situations just happen and there is barely any communication happening. That quite frankly ties into our bad social skills as well. It's like, bro, C.U.M, we cause our own drama.
Well, sometimes it's not even bad social skills. Sometimes like bad communication, because like I've had relationships with like good communication, but sometimes like people don't know what they're feeling. There's also like bad, like it's hard sometimes to know how you're feeling.
Yeah.
So even if you can communicate what you're feeling, if you don't know what to communicate, you're never gonna get that across. I think like that's also part of it for a lot of C.U.M people. Like you're so, and I think most people don't know how to self-reflect or like understand where their emotions are coming from, or know like why are they feeling bad at something. So just being like, I don't like this, I feel bad, stop doing it. But like, okay, why is this making me feel bad? And is it like fair for me to, for those reasons, for me to feel bad at XYZ thing, right? Or they'll misattribute the reason they're feeling bad to something else.
That's fair.
And that also will affect your communication. It'll make it bad communication, but not because you aren't communicating, because you're communicating the wrong thing.
I guess we've just realized that, well, CMU people might not be the best at social skills, viz. Communication.
Well, here's the thing. I think a lot of people are bad at those things. I don't think CMU is bad.
It feels like CMU is like especially more bad though.
I don't know. I think it's easy to say that. I don't know. I have more faith in CMU. I feel like everyone's just shit at it.
Just the general population is bad at this.
I think in the terms of like approaching, I can agree that CMU is bad at it. But in terms of like the communication, like internally, I don't think CMU is like. Maybe they are, but like, I don't know if like they're that much worse. Like I feel like people aren't good at communicating in relationships in general.
That's fair.
Because it's hard.
It is hard, and it takes, quite frankly, some practice, but also just self-reflection and being a decent person yourself. But it feels like a lot of our female friends have like, it feels like they have low standards compared to like what other people would have. And I'm like, yeah.
I think depending on their past dating experiences, their standards are shaped a lot. Because I feel like some people got like, I definitely know female friends who have high standards too. And I think part of that comes from self-confidence. Like you should like, because if you aren't self-confident, your standards will be lower because you feel like you deserve less, which is not good for you. But also I think like, a lot of our guy friends also have low standards. I don't know. I think everyone with low self-confidence, like most of our friends, have lower standards. And then, like, some of our guys' friends have really low standards.
Yeah.
Alright, but besides the point, I think, like, a lot of people want to be in a relationship just to be in one, and that, like, lowers their standards a lot. And it's like, are you breathing? Are you alive?
Are you alive? That's the checkbox right there. And
do you go to CMU?
Do you go to CMU? Are you breathing? I don't think that "Are you going to CMU" is even a checkbox for a lot of people here, quite frankly.
So,
like, okay.
I don't know if that's something you could say is like exclusive to our friends or girls.
That's fair. I think just everyone here has somewhat lowered their standards, I think, to a certain degree. I don't know. Maybe it's just us being like somewhat socially awkward, but hey.
I don't know. I also feel like most people's standards are unachievable. Like you're not gonna get every single thing you want because nobody is perfect. But I think if you get someone that is trying their best to be what you want, that is good.
Yeah.
As long as you have someone who like wants to make you happy and you want to make them happy, and both trying your best in a relationship, I think that is enough to make that relationship worth like trying and like working on. But once like someone stops trying, I think that's when you're at the point where like you need to end that.
Yeah.
And I think that's sort of what I've like used as like the framework of like, do I like want to stay in a relationship or not? So as long as I feel like someone's trying or like they're still trying, like
yeah, that's healthy.
Yeah.